An undiscovered paradise. Forget New York and California. There's a better place, now close your eyes. Take my hand, we are almost there. Our favorite place on earth, Massachusetts. It's the 14th biggest state.
Lab can be done on whichever virtual machine you prefer. JCP might be easiest. vCenter might be easier. Depends on what you prefer to do. Hello.
4 hours from New York. Read amazing books for free at the Boston Library, or try the local breed. Massachusetts, it's a melting pot, my friend. Massachusetts, so many cultures hand in hand in
Hello.
perfect harmony. Welcome to the Massachusetts, land of a thousand tribes. Home of Nelson Mandela, for the appetite. Come on, boys, your battle
Should probably stop the song
warrior.
soon before it goes down a dark path. Um, Wonderful little band there. This part isn't being recorded, so wouldn't want to be hit with another copyright claim. All right. 3 p.m. Hello, everybody. So, got a handful of people here. Plan for today is basically our last real lab. So I think I mentioned this the last time, but we've got our schedule up in Moodle, assuming I didn't screw it up like I did my other classes. Okay. So, yep, performance lab today. Then next week we will have basically our last real lecture. And it's going to be half the class. The other time will be term project work time to hopefully clean things up. And then on the 9th, again, we'll have a lab, which is not going to be graded. I'll put some instructions up on Moodle for you all to get set up beforehand. And then we will have our presentations. And then the exam was the wrong date, so it's the 23rd, not the 21st. So we're going by the official school schedule still. And other than that, should be good. So you should hopefully be getting your grades back soon for the labs at minimum. But other than that, what we can do here is we can do the lab. So I'm going to run through it. Pretty straightforward. So last class we did some more PowerShell. We did some very minimal kind of performance monitoring with PowerShell commands. And here we are going to do a little bit of a mix. So we'll do some command lines. So using the command prompt, we use PowerShell. And we will use the Performance Manager to actually watch what's happening. So I've got also lots of clicking. So be wary. You're going to have to click some things. We are going to be using a GUI here. So a couple of things that we have to do. So first, we're going to create a PowerShell script to just slow things down. I already wrote this, so I already created it, but forget to open up PowerShell. And I'm going to open up the ISE version. Yeah, it didn't close because I just killed the VM, so it should make sense. All right, I want this to be just 1000 because otherwise it's going to take a while. Zoom in a bit. Okay. So all this is doing is it's making a busy, like a little loop. But what it is going to do is it's going to do this interesting write progress commandlet here. And once this is done loading, I'm not sure why it does this on this virtual machine. All my other VMs, this thing loads up pretty quickly, but here it's like it's running something in the background. Basically, it's just going to pop up a little progress bar, which is kind of neat. If you have a script that's actually doing things, you could dump this out there to show you what's going on. So, yeah, we're going to run that. And I would take a screenshot of it working and dump it into my Q1, assuming I was a student who was looking for a grade here. What is taking so long? So if I hit this little stop operation, it just completely breaks PowerShell. I'm not sure what it's doing. It's got to have some kind of a startup script that it's thinking about. But I guess while that's running, we can look at the next commands. So we are going to run a couple of commands here. So task list /fi, and then we are going to run mem usage greater than or equal to 15,000. Yes, you are absolutely allowed to work on it by yourselves. I'm just running through this in case if anybody has any problems, they want to maybe look at the video or follow along. So feel free to tune me out or close the window completely if you prefer. But yep, just a lab day. So treat it like any other lab day, basically. Any lab day pre-virus. All right, so I'm going to pop open a command prompt and I'm going to dump this in there. This is done, so let's hit play. Yep, okay. And then we get our thing. Oh, that's right. / is not recognized. It's pound. Yes, it will be recorded. So I'm recording this part. I'll put it up on Moodle afterwards. Okay, so that's just our little progress indicator there. Oh, that's sweet of you. I would tune me out. I don't know about you guys. You're a lot nicer than I was to my my professors. I won't name the professor. I used to be a master's student here at Oakland, and I took a master's class, and I think I maxed out my woodcutting. It was either woodcutting or fire starting skills in RuneScape. So I was that student. But it was also in that I'm not gonna name names. Wasn't Singh though. I actually never took Dr. Singh for a class. I heard he's quite good. But it was in that classroom in the math and science building, so it's kind of like that hallway between Dodge and the math building, where it's like that movie theater room where you have the nice comfortable chairs and it's dark and warm. Oh, so comfortable. Anyway, so I'm going to run this command and I'm going to get a whole bunch of information. I'm looking at the task manager basically. Here's all my memory, my programs that are using memory that are larger than 15,000 kilobytes. So if you want to do a quick little dump there, that's what you can get. And then similarly, we can also query the task list for CPU time for things running longer than a minute. Debatable. Well, I'm not a student anymore, so I have to have some sense of decorum, I suppose. But yeah, so basically just one way that we can do some management. You could do this remotely. So take a screenshot, describe what each command does. Quite good is probably generous. Luckily, the chats aren't recorded either. Okay, so next we're going to do, we're going to look at a way to auto start a service. So there's this sc command here. Let me zoom in on this a little bit too. Sips tea. This is coffee, thank you. Sadly with nothing in it. Although being remote, I could probably throw whiskey or Baileys or something and nobody would notice. But then lecture would be a little bit weirder. Anyway, before we go down that route, so we could start the WinRM service automatically. For instance, whenever you want to log in. So if I was running this actually as a administrator, which I'm not, I could put that in there access denied. Again, I'm not running this as an admin. Let's do that anyway, just so that we can get this thing running. So run as admin. Okay. Now let's run this again. And then this command would basically start on login. So there we go. Pretty straightforward. Again, this lab isn't intended to be super crazy. It's more show to expose you to things that you can do on the terminal. So we can also use a command line to kill programs. So let's run this script that we're running, and it's running as PowerShell ISE. So I'm going to bump this up to 100,000. So basically, this is just a random loop. It's going to take a little while to run. We see that going. I pop open the task manager. We see, this is not what I wanted. I want the more details view. So we see PowerShell ISE running. I want the more detailed view, which is, go to details. So yeah, PowerShell underscore ISE could be running that. So let's run this again. And what I'm looking to do is to kill this thing. So I see that a script is consuming a crap ton of memory, or maybe it's stuck in a forever loop. Who knows? I mean, it could be anything, right? So let's run this, slowing things down. Go in here, and then I can kill PowerShell underscore ISE. So basically, I sent an absolute kill signal to end that process. Now, obviously, this could have ended anything running as PowerShell ISE, but we would assume that I would know which process I want to kill. You could also do it by PID as well if you prefer. So we have that going there. But again, just trying to kill something. I'm not going to run this because this will kill my machine if I'm running it as an admin. So let's say that we want to take the IT crowd route and force a reboot because the user is too dumb to turn it off and on again. So let's just issue a shutdown command. So basically, shutdown/r is going to reboot it. So 90 is going to give us, I believe, 90 seconds to basically save everything that we want before it shuts down. Then we'll force it. And I'm not going to run that, otherwise we'll be sitting here waiting for the machine to reboot. So I'm going to assume this works. I mean, I know it works. I've seen it work, but I'm not going to run it myself. You all can. All right, then when Windows comes back, which it has, let's run this. So now what we're getting is we're getting all kinds of information about the PC. So I am listing out basically everything that I could get in the system information GUI, basically. But it's something that, again, is easily queryable, easily reportable. We have a nice little interface here. Even lists out the hotfixes that are installed. Lists out the IP address. Do we have a hypervisor? So things of this nature are what we would get out of this command. And then, if I was a student, again, I would take a screenshot. So for some of these too, you're going to notice this. Maybe the list is huge. Just give me enough of a screenshot to know what it is, and I'm okay with that. You don't have to screenshot, scroll, screenshot, scroll. I'll get the gist of it if you run that. All right. So then the last command prompt command we're going to run here is type perf. I should also mention too, before these commands would not run in PowerShell. It only would work in the command prompt. I'm fairly certain a lot of them actually will now. For instance, if I go into PowerShell, you get the same information. So this was probably a couple of years ago when PowerShell did not accept some of these commands, but now it's been updated to work fairly seamlessly. Okay, so next up, let's get some performance counter. So this is basically dipping into the performance counter wizard. Anybody seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force? You will probably get that one. I'm going to pop open PowerShell again here. And I do have counters in here. So let's get rid of counters because I did this to make sure everything worked before. And let's zoom in a bit. So even though I'm sure you all can see it, we'll make it viewable. So what this is doing is it's redirecting the output of type performance-q. So type perf-q by itself, it's going to give me all of my performance counters that I can look at. And if I redirect it to counters, so if I clear this out, Crap, I forgot to hit record again. Dang it. You're all gonna get crappy Twitch download stream version instead of the good one. Good-ish. And again, so anyway, when we redirect it, it's gonna just dump that output to this file. So when we look at, actually, let's look at the head counters. That's right, head doesn't work here. Cat counters, cat exists. So basically, I have a file where I could step through all these counters if I wanted to. So again, using type perf, redirect. So what you would have to do at this point is to look into this file, pick 3, and describe what they do. And when I'm looking for counters from different sections, so for instance, if I don't even remember what the command is now. Edit? It probably doesn't, yeah. I don't think I've installed Vim on here. Maybe I did. Nope, did not. I'm gonna go into my user account. There we go. So I'm looking for basically 3 counters from different sections. So pick one out of RAS, for instance, pick one out of the DFS namespace, pick one out of Windows Time Service. Don't pick like 3 from a single section, for instance. So again, pretty straightforward, just working with these commands. So now let's use some of these. So type perf will also act on a performance counter. So again, we're basically doing things in the terminal that we can do in the performance, not the tool. It's it's got a performance monitor. I always want to call it like the performance server or something, but performance monitor. So let's run this. So type perf, and then I just picked one of them. So this is going to watch the processor time. So here we have our processor metrics. So here we get like the processor time information. So basically you have different column separated values, and this is going to keep running until you cancel it out. So if I wanted to say take an interval of my processor usage, I would see something like this. And if you want to actually see this jump, I could actually, let's pop open another PowerShell here. Is slow in this file? I think it should be. No, it's in documents. I really like talking to myself. It's a good sign that we're all sane. You keep talking to yourself, right? So I put, I've got this slow PowerShell script, right? So I'm going to run PowerShell slow, and I'm going to watch my processor usage. I'm pointing at the screen like you all know what I'm looking at. So I'm going to watch what happens. So I get my little pop up here, and then I see my CPU usage is all of a sudden ticking up. So we see that happening here. And we see my my nice little progress bar is actually this, not as pretty, but still kind of interesting looking progress bar there. And I can cancel out of this, even though it's going to take a minute. And then we see our processor usage dip back down. So we're watching CPU activity here, basically. I'm going to cancel out so that that's done. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it's kind of a good way to show these commands work. All right, so we can also watch like memory usage, which is going to be your RAM, right? So if I clear, let's run this command. So we're looking at the available megabytes of RAM that we have here. And then we see about 6K. Let's see if we can dip down again. So if I run this, should hopefully see the RAM either go down a little bit. Actually, it's probably not going to do anything because we're not consuming RAM. We're just running a loop that's doing nothing. So this is not really changing all that much. You see it dipping down a little bit, but it's really not all that much in the grand scheme of things. So we can do that from the terminal as well. And again, this cancel will stop that. So there we go. All right, so now we're actually going to look at a tool. Yeah, you got a question. Is this similar to WMI? So the Windows machine interface So that's more of a hardware thing, right? So it's kind of similar. Um, you're more so, I guess yes and no, I suppose. We can get any performance counter we want out of these tools, basically, if that makes sense. So if you want to monitor RAM usage, you want to monitor processor usage, network in egress and ingress, all that is monitorable. That's actually what we're going to be looking at here too. So we're just looking at the basics right now. When we get down to the performance monitor later on, we'll be able to do this a little more graphically, and you can see them all. Just to keep going in order, though, we'll look at the resource monitor. So this is like somewhere in between the task manager and the performance monitor. Let's get out of this. We'll leave this one up. But in server manager, so we got tools. You scroll down, and then we have resource monitor. You can also open this up as a tool by searching for, I think, Resmon. But here, again, that's kind of like a in between of the task manager and something a little more heavy-handed. So here you see all your processes, their PIDs, kind of your task manager stuff. You can dig down into your disk usage. You can dig into your network in here, which processes are using the network to send and receive data. You have some nice little graphs here on the side. So this is the overview. You can look at your CPU, memory. So basically, it's a nice little tool to kind of dig into what's actually happening on your servers. So that's one thing that you can do there. And what do we want in here? We can also analyze things that aren't responding. So this is one of the other things that is kind of cool about this is to analyze the weight chain. So for instance, where's my screen? If I look at, I guess server manager, we can analyze weight chain. So it's running normally. Life is good. Do I have anything in here? SVC host? No. Let's try maybe running this guy. So I want PowerShell. Find it in here. Or I should just sort. Basically, if there was like if I had a child process waiting for something, or basically a dependency that's waiting on a process to finish, it would pop up here in this little blank space. So if I'm waiting for a resource, if I'm waiting for memory, if anything that I'm waiting for would pop up. So if I'm troubleshooting a kind of a process that's going awry, that might be one thing that you would look at to try and figure things out. So that's basically the resource monitor. Again, it's kind of it's more of a visual thing. Yeah, got a question. Yes, this is a Windows. This is the Windows VM. So this is our Google Cloud Windows 10, or sorry, Windows Server 2019 VMs. Again, you could use vCenter if you prefer. You actually have the resource monitor on your local PC too if you're running Windows 10. I'm not sure what the prior versions would be, but I know at least mine has it. So yeah, this is definitely Windows. We looked at some of this in terms of Linux last semester with like HTOP and some of those other tools as well, but here we're just looking at the Windows side. All right, so basically I just want you to look at this PowerShell. Yeah, so the only thing is if you do the PowerShell script, do we have performance monitor? Oh, it's even on. Okay, so this is actually on my PC. So I guess technically you don't need Windows Server for this demo or for this lab. For some reason I was thinking this is baked into Windows Server. I keep forgetting it's also local. So yep, that's also fine too. All right, so the last thing we're going to look at here, again, like I mentioned, this is kind of a short lab. I didn't really want this to take a whole lot of your time because I know you're all busy with your term project and struggling with probably online videos and all that fun stuff. I'm going to look at the performance monitor now. So this is going to give you a very nice interface for generating reports of whatever you're monitoring, basically. So you can get graphs, you can get comma separated values, you can get a whole lot of things in here. Whether you go custom, whether you use one of the defaults, it's fairly powerful, which is very handy for a good furry sysadmin to use. So you pop this thing open. So again, it's Performance Monitor. You get a little overview of what's happening with your machine on this front page here. So kind of basic statistics for your server. If you click this Performance Monitor icon, you get a live graph, and this is where kind of the bulk of what we're going to be looking at here is. So this is a live graph again, showing one metric. So it's looking at processor time, or sorry, percent processor time of a particular computer. I should note that you can monitor multiple machines in this interface too. So what I've done in prior years, I would have everybody link together their virtual machines and watch their teammates' statistics in here. We're not going to do that this year just with all the headaches with our various technologies, but if you have an Active Directory environment and you have access to another PC, you could add like / other PC in here, and you could monitor their statistics remotely, which is also very, very handy for you. All right, so we have this guy. The little plus icon is going to give you access to those performance counters that you looked for. So up here, I'm going to add, here are all the categories from that list. And then you drill down, here are all of the specific statistics you can look at. All right, so here I'm looking at server work queues. That's not something that's going to be useful. Let's look at processor. Process. Just looking for a random one. I don't have a set one that I want to put in here. Actually, maybe I do. Let's okay, just pick some new ones. Oh, available bytes and pages per second. Okay, I did have one. Not just flying by the seat of my pants here. So we want memory. We want available bytes. So I'll add that. And then we also want pages per second. So I'm going to look at the available memory in bytes, and I want to look at how many pages per second are being used. And again, this is for my local computer here. If I had other PCs that I was monitoring, servers or not, I could browse for them and just add them directly. So again, this is very, very handy for the sysadmin. All right, so you look down here at the bottom, I see some more statistics. So I've got available bytes, I've got pages per second. I can right click, go to properties, and I can change its color. So let's go green for bytes, and pages per second. Let's go, I don't know, blue? Yeah, we don't have a blue. So I'll try to go for distinct colors. So there you see my processor usage. Here you see any kind of paging happening. Green is way up here. It's also scaled, you might notice as well. Basically, this y-axis is going to be scaled for all these metrics. So I could right-click and scale selected counters, and it's going to give you a little bit of a different view. Now, this is not 65 bytes are available. Obviously, it's scaled to this axis. You could drill down and modify the axes and all that to get a better, more accurate view if you wanted. So we have this. Let's now run our script. So I've got my PowerShell script here. I'm going to run it. Actually, no, let's, oh, we have a decent view here. So I'm going to run, and I'm going to go back. And now we should see some things happen on our chart. So we start seeing our processor usage spiking a little bit. Looks like our available bytes are staying the same. If there was more things happening, we would start to see paging occur. So like if this was doing a lot of memory intensive applications, we run out of RAM, we might start seeing page hits. So again, one kind of nice graphical way to watch, maybe to benchmark a script, maybe you're trying to dig down to see if there's a hard drive that's starting to fail. Maybe you have some very chatty network services. I could put network egress and ingress on here again. So nice and handy tool. So let's stop this, and then we should see our processor usage go down. We do. Life is good. So yeah, we have kind of a nice little graph here. This is also something you could export as well, if you wanted to. Or you can get a bar graph, different view types here. So we have that. So this is live data. Should mention as well. We can also create a custom data collector. So this is basically generating a log of information. So what we're going to do, and actually this is a good point I should mention here. What if we want to log it, for instance, to find a baseline of normal system activity? I think I've got baseline in my exam review. Anybody remember what a baseline is? While I expand data collector sets. Well, basically a baseline, if more so for your review, it's where you're getting an idea of what the normal system patterns are. So I could generate a graph or a log of this of a particular server, and it's generally going to have it's going to have a usage pattern, which hopefully is fairly minimal or expected. And then if we start seeing like spikes and it differs from what our baseline looks like, we know that something weird is happening. Anyway, so expanded data collector sets, expanded user defined. I right clicked and I'm going to add a new data collector set. Let's call this CSI3670 lab. And we want to create it from a template. And I believe it's system performance. Yeah, system performance. Next, I'm going to leave the root directory as kind of our where we're going to save it. Basically, this is going into our system drive and then into a folder called perflogs, then admin, then CSI3670 lab. We're going to leave it as default. Now, this is where the manual, it's going to be, no, it's not here. It's further down, I think. There's going to be a place where we have to put our credentials in. All right, so we have our template there. Okay, so we're going to open it up. We're going to log it as comma separated. So we're going to properties. So right click in properties. We are going to, oh, I forgot to double click the performance counter. Cancel. All right, so left click, performance counter is over here. I want it to log as a CSV file. Otherwise, it's going to go out as a binary file. And did I have anything else in here? Nope, that's good. So file, it's going to be saved as performance counter. We could change the name if we want. Don't care. We're just going to leave it as performancecounter.csv. So this is where the thing is. So I think if you're doing this in vCenter, it might not be a problem. But if you get this NT authority system, basically it's looking for who is the user that's going to act as, or who's going to be executing this counter. You want to run it as an admin account so that it has access to basically to consume these metrics. So just put your GCP credentials in. So mine is Eric_Fredericks. Basically, it's whatever your username is that you log into the remote desktop client. And then it's going to be whatever password you have. So I don't, this password is just the junk one generated by Google. And while we're kind of talking about the credentials, I should mention if you're having issues with resetting your Windows password on your Google VM, like it will time out or it will fail to update. Seems the easiest solution is just to create a new VM, but just make sure you write down the password or that you change it to something you know, because you'll run into the same issue eventually. Haven't figured out what's the cause, but it seemed to start around the time of the IIS lab for most people that have run into it, which I find kind of strange. Anyway, so we got a CSV file. We've saved it. And now we can click start. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to run. So I'm going to right click and then start. So we see a little play icon pop up. Now maybe I run my script for a couple seconds here. And basically it's just going to collect data for, about 5 minutes or so, or however long you've defined the interval to be. So I'm going to cancel this so we can see some difference in values. Let's exit out of this, and then this is basically going to run for a few minutes here. All right, other than that, we are going to get a report. So there is a way to view it either internally or externally. So in here you see this reports. We'll look at user defined. And then we see a few different ones. I can look at one that I collected yesterday. So if I right click, well, anyway, here's the report here. So looking at CPU time, utilization of network utilization, basically, whatever metrics I told it to look at. And again, this came from a system performance template. So all of these metrics that are being watched, these were predefined in that template. If I wanted to look at very specific metrics, I wouldn't do it from a template. I would select each of those counters. But then you have a nice little view here. All right, so it actually looks like it's done. So it wasn't 5 minutes. It was, I think, just 1 minute that it ran. But we have a report. And then we see a report here for what we just ran. So top CPU usage was 7%. Actually went up to 11% at one point. Disk usage, probably fairly minimal. Files causing most disk IOs, so it's the log file and the performance counter, which makes a lot of sense because that's all that's running on here. And yeah, then we basically have this little report. And the last thing that we're going to look at here is it's actually in my quick access, which is kind of nice. Access denied. Cool. It is in C. Perf logs. Need admin access to view it. Admin, yes, I have access. Thank you. So here is our report in a HTML file. So I could pull this up again in this pre-formatted report. I could look at the CSV file. So let's open this with, I guess, WordPad. Since I don't have Excel installed on here. But basically, you have your data in CSV format, so comma separated. So here's all of the headers, basically, and then you would have, that basically would look like an Excel sheet if we had installed Excel in here. So again, just multiple ways to kind of get performance metrics. So hopefully it is appreciated. Since none of you have had me for this class before, you probably won't realize, but this homework was about 20 questions long of looking up definitions and all kinds of fun stuff. But instead, it's more practical usage and just descriptions about what you did. So honestly, that's about the entirety of the lab. The whole goal was to kind of watch some performance metrics of your server. Maybe we'll see if I can get this up and running here. Let me start up another server. See if I can get this guy, because I set up a little Active Directory environment up in GCP just to see if I could do it. This was the failover lab. But while this gets up and running, I'll see if I can remotely access it. Anybody have any questions while I wait for this to boot up? All right, we're gonna get a login yet? No, not yet. I tuned out for a sec. Oh, so I mean, his question was if it was in Windows. It wasn't necessarily if you needed a new one. You don't need a new one. So you can do this on any current generation Windows machine, it turns out. You can do it on your Windows server. You can actually do it on your local machine if you have Windows 10 and you have the Performance Monitor and Resource Monitor, which seem to be at least installed by default in Windows 10 Education Edition, which is what I've got. I don't know if it's on Windows Home, but you could try. Basically, if you as long as you can access a performance and resource monitor, you should be fine. All right, so that's got to be up by now. A hair in my coffee somehow. Yum. Okie dokie, let's look at this performance monitor here. Let's go ahead and delete some of these statistics. All right, so I get processor. So let's fill in all of them. So we had processor time. Okay, let's add this. Home as well. Okay, good. And now I want to see if I can add WSFC-1. Unable to connect. WSFC-1. Okay. Unable to connect. I was hoping this would be connectable. WSFC-1. Maybe, maybe. All right, I know it exists. Is it just not popping up? No, it's not accessible. Okay, it is accessible. I can see it right here. Oh, I don't have permission. Oh, okay. Maybe what we need is to do this. Aha, let's make me a domain admin. Okay. Let's make me an enterprise admin just for funsies. Okay. Now are you gonna work? Do not have permission. Yeah. Let's reboot you. Should have access, especially if I'm a domain admin. Maybe I need to log back out and log back in. Let's try that. So, any of you been watching the news about all the fun exploits being discovered in Zoom right now? Kind of want to forward all the Mac takeover exploits that I'm seeing to all of my Mac using friends. Yeah, there have been some major Zoom related exploits found. I think the latest one was that you could remotely take over a Macintosh computer or an Apple MacBook or something like that. I'm not sure about that. Online, verify WinRM is installed. Okay, I know this is installed. I know it's running. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I can access it now. Let's see if we can monitor it. Feel bad for the Zoom dev. Yeah, they got hit pretty hard with users all at once. I came up with a wonderful joke that I'm sure is going to be very cringy. I don't know if I want to go for it, but is that to make the users Zoomers? Oh, poor guys. Oof. I'm sure they'll bounce back. Got to assume that they'll be okay. I mean, everybody's using them as long as they can patch some of the issues. They should be okay. Alrighty, so this is good. Let's make this blue. Okay, we have a performance metric from a different PC and from the current PC. So it does work. You don't have to do this, but I just wanted to show you that you can do it. And you can also do this in that data collector as well, if you want to add other metrics from other PCs. So it is possible. What I did for this other machine, so this is in Google Cloud. You wouldn't necessarily have some of the firewall restrictions in other environments, but I had to disable particular firewall ports. Actually, I think I just opened it all up because I was getting frustrated, but I should probably lock that back down. The WinRM service has to be activated. The firewall ports for WinRM and remote management have to be open on the PCs, and you need elevated access privileges for the account that's accessing it, obviously. So should be adding domain admin. I added enterprise on there just to put a very heavy administrative privilege on top of that. So, okay, other than that, that's pretty much it for the lab. So if anybody has any questions on this, I'll be in the Discord channel for the next hour. Shouldn't be any problems other than that credentials thing is going to be the only real difference that you see. So other than that, I will see you all on Tuesday. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend and continue staying safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye.